Hi yogis, hi friends, welcome back. Welcome to your practice. Let's take a minute here to realize the impact our yoga practice has on us in so many different ways, in our physical bodies, in our communications with others, with our ability to find our breath and calm our system, the ability to shift our focus. It's a constant, it's always with us. See if we can tap in today to some of the magic. Let's leave everything else behind, outside the room. You've secured yourself in a safe and comfortable place. See if we can take ourselves out there today and attend to our needs. Find yourself sitting, comfy. Maybe cross-legged like this, on a blanket, on a bolster. Something to take your pelvis up a bit higher so your knees will release towards the earth. I'm going to spend a lot of time today on our spines, trying to get our spines to both articulate and move and stabilize when we need them to. So as we begin, see what your spine feels like right now. In your mind's eye, maybe, where are the curves? Do you feel like you're symmetrical? Notice with that slightly tilted forward pelvic bowl that inspires the arch in your low back. It's the natural curve, the lordosis in your lumbar spine. We want that. Take the back of your left hand into the small of your back and see that there is a little bit of an arch. Some of us have too much of an arch, so if you're sitting and your low back is in a excessive arch position here, see if you can maybe rock back on the pelvis a bit and find a little less of a curve. Take the hands to the bottom of the rib cage and bind those low ribs in. Maybe turning the knob today and tightening it down so the imaginary sash around the bottom of the rib cage, holding that mobile segment stable. Left hand to the heart. And see if you take your heart tall. What ends up opening is that middle back. So remember, the middle back is supposed to be somewhat rounded, but on many of us, it's too rounded. So this helps to get rid of some of the excessive roundedness in that mid-thoracic. Take your hands back behind you, open your hearts. Turn the thumbs towards the ground so we externally rotate our shoulders. And then turn the thumbs towards the ground in front, internally rotate towards the sky into back plane and front plane. Release the backs of the hands to the knees and slide the elbows back towards the hips. Open the chest and the collarbones. Helps to align the head. Some of the weight of the head is evenly distributed over the curves in the spine. The spine is not bolt straight. It has its curves that allow for the energies and movements to take place. Close your eyes. Maybe you can imagine the back of your skull aligned with your sacrum. Maybe the earlobes dangling above the shoulders. Feeling the release of the jaw so the teeth are not gripping, the tongue resting in the bottom of the mouth. Take a moment here for an internal architectural tour. Listen to what's being fed back to your brain. Make any little adjustments you might want to, or more just observational. Where are you starting? What's happening in your brain? Has this been a busy week? Has this been an epic week for you maybe? So this is a wonderful time to recapture your breath and steer that mind into calm waters and away from all the triggers that get us going. I suggest you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhaling through the nose warms and hydrates and purifies the air, the prana, the life force, as we take it into our bodies. And as you exhale through your pursed lips, you can hear and feel the exhaust as it leaves your body. All the things we're trying to purge ourselves of. from our mind and from our bodies. It's a wonderful detoxification and purification for our system. So find the evenness of the inhale and the subtleness and quiet on the exhale until the end of the exhale. Then use your abdominals and push out a little bit more of the sludge to get rid of all the junk in our system. See if you can make your exhalations twice as long as your inhalations. That's a potent trigger for our brains to know that we're diving into relaxation. Long, slow, deep exhalations. Even, soft inhalations. Let's sit for a minute here. Envision all of our friends practicing around the world, seeing if we can bring together our collective consciousness, our like-mindedness, and know there's so many other people out there that are thinking the same thoughts, kindness and tranquility, finding our calmness in the storm. Let's sit for a minute and find our breath. Before you open your eyes, take your thumbs and cross them like bird wings right over your heart. The heart chakra in the center of the chest on the sternum. It's our compassion center. Feel your heart beating inside your chest. We never lose sight of the magnificence of that heartbeat, pumping blood, prana life force throughout us, keeping us healthy, alive and vibrant. Feeling your heartbeat inside, feeling the warmth on the outside in your palms. Maybe the green light emanating from that heart chakra. Stop for a moment here to feel your humanness. Blink your eyes open, look at the front of the mat. Bring the gaze back up. See if you can take your hands towards the sky. So we feel this lifting, right? Of course, you can feel your fingertips reaching towards the sky. At the same time, feel the sit bones anchored to the earth and the line, the string with a weight on it, tethering us down to the earth while the hands become helium balloons floating up. That wonderful sensation of rooting and rising, somewhere in between, finding the turnaround point. Pull the low ribs in, some awareness. Look up at your hands. Take your thumbs back behind you, opening that upper back again, getting rid of some of the roundedness to the thoracic spine. Squeeze the imaginary globe between your hands. Bring that energy together. Keep the low ribs engaged. Fit the ears by the elbows. Touch the palms together. Index fingers to the sky. Steeple hands. Touch the roof. Touch the sky. Touch the stars. Way up they go. Side to side with the rib cage, starting to soften the muscles between the ribs, lengthening the waistline, reclaiming some of that compression into decompression, back to neutral. Take the hands up one more time. Inhale, and on your exhale, push your hands together and lower down slowly through main central, third eye, tip of the nose, lips, throat, onto your big heart. Thumbs to the heart, and the heart will lift. Pause here for a moment. Inhale. On your exhale, spin the hands to the earth, and let's release the neck. Inhale. On the exhale, left ear bows to the left shoulder. So gently and softly, we find the release on the right side, softening in through the upper traps, scalenes, using the weight of your head and gravity to do almost all the work. Inhale your head back up. And on the exhale, reverse. Left hand holds the floor, right ear, right shoulder. Feel the spine in a side bend. Feel the release of the muscles, the hydration of the connective tissues. Inhale your head back up to center. On the exhale, turn the chin to the left. Keep it on the horizon line. It's our advantageous position to find the rotation, those 7 vertebrae in the neck. When you get to the end of the range, shake your head yes, just a little bit of movement, carving out some more range. Chin back to neutral and take it around a little bit farther if possible. Inhale back through center. On the exhale, right hand turn, chin on horizon. Find the end of your range, and when you do, shake the head yes a little bit. Lubricate the joints and move the fluids. Chin to neutral, take it around maybe a little bit farther. Beautiful. Inhale back through center. Feel that clean path all the way around to the left. And then see if maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale, exhale, chin out towards your 2 right shoulder point as the right hand holds the floor. Explore that end range. Take a breath or 2. Inhale the head back up to center. Exhale around to the right. We'll go deeper. Inhale. Exhale, chin out towards or 2, right shoulder point. Inhale back, chin back to center. On the exhale, lower the chin to the jugular notch between the 2 collarbones. A little shelf to fit into. Again, try to make the movement right now just from your neck. Flex that cervical spine. We'll trace the chin on the collarbone now. Inhale, on the exhale, trace the chin along the line of the right collarbone. Take it around. Remember, when your chin starts to leave the collarbone, that's where you stop. If you can explore the end of it, it will hook right into the shoulder blade. Inhale back through center, tracing it on the bone, and exhale around to the left. Giving our thyroid and parathyroid glands a little squeeze here, some blood flow and awareness. Inhale it back to center. On the exhale, press the fingertips, sit bones back into the earth, pull the low ribs in, and slowly bring the heart tall. The head will come up. Reach the crown of the head right to the sky and the sit bones into the earth. Find that first. Inhale. And on the exhale, push your heart forward, open that upper back. And we lower the head back so slowly from as many vertebrae as you can find, like a boomerang shape here, from behind your heart to your skull. See if you can scoop out that shape. No dizziness allowed, no pain in the spine. If you've got either one, back off. Otherwise, feel the stretch maybe from your chin to your collarbone. Inhale the head back up, center place. L-shaped hands. Use your thumbs to press down onto the tops of your thighs. Inhale. On the exhale, with the press onto the thighs, pull the lower ribs in, tuck the chin, and start to lead with the crown of the head towards the front of your mat. The legs are down, right? The thighs are down, so the pelvis is rocking over the fixed thighs. The sit bones will leave the earth.
You've got your abdominals and your back extensors working here so you don't crash to the earth. Take your elbows to your side now. We're going to root our arms down. Inhale. On the exhale, take the right hand out and put it on the floor. Take the left hand out and put it on the floor. Have your index fingers forward and your thumbs towards each other. Press the fingertips into the earth to create a puckering in your palms and move the index towards that thumb, imaginary marble to hold that side of the hand down. Look at the wrists. The wrists stay in place. Move the elbow creases towards the sky, so don't let the hand come up, but move the elbow creases to the sky and you'll feel your shoulder blades pull onto your rib cage. Descend the elbows now down towards the earth, maybe onto a bolster or a blanket if need be. The chin is still tucked. Inhale. On your exhale, pull the hands and elbows back towards the knees and find the whole length to your spine here. Decompression. So I said we're going to attend to our spine. See if you can find this beautiful length at the beginning of practice. Moving the energies through all the nadis in our spine. Walk the hands forward another notch, and then maybe let the crown of the head release to the earth for full flexion of the spine here. Inhale the head back up to center, and on the exhale, walk your hands back up. Tall sit position, beautiful. See if you can cross your legs now to your uncommon cross. Maybe it's becoming more common as we do this longer and longer. Perhaps you can get your foot to fit into the space between your calf and your thigh rather than resting on the floor in front. Arms come up on the inhale, and on the exhale, thumbs roll backwards and we drop our thumbs back for hitchhiker shoulders, external rotation, ball and socket. Inhale the arms back up, and on the exhale, drop them down. Internal rotation, ball and socket, reminding you try not to bow forward, but keep the chest and ribs out of it, just the shoulders moving. Back through hitchhiker shoulders, and laundry arms, drop them over. Inhale them up, and on the exhale, fly machine arms, they touch. Turn the palms to face you. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the sides of the hands and the elbows together. They will rise. Pause at the point where your elbows start to come apart. That's your stop position. Then pull them apart. Index and middle touch. Inhale, exhale, slowly draw them down. Big, wide palms, resetting our shoulder girdle complex. Elbows into side pockets, and up again they go. Pressing, strengthening the shoulders and the neck, round the bend and come on back down. And up again one more time. Elbows stay at the side now. Turn your light bulb hands as free as you can in your palms and wrists and forearms. Queen wave arms. Dissipating the energies, moving out some of the junk from all the overuse of our arms. Take your hands up over your head. Hallelujah arms. Queen wave. Light bulbs. Go ahead and shake them out. Fly your arms up. We know this. No upper traps. So if you'd like to, take your shoulders up to your ears. That's upper traps. Release that. We don't need to bring the shoulder blade up. We're keeping the secure shoulder here, the ball and socket with our rotator cuff and our deltoid muscles. So keep the upper traps out of it when possible. Grab your imaginary tennis balls, initiate from shoulders down so the shoulders don't come up, but the ball and socket moves. You got it. Flap your wings, lubricate. Move all those energies through. Let's touch down and fly back up. How free the arms feel now. We'll fly our pterodactyls into our eagles, right on top, left on bottom. Either put the fingers in the palm or have backs of the hands touch. Remember, you can always just have your arms like this if crossing them is too much.
Maybe you've noticed over the weeks and months we've been doing this now that this has become a little bit more accessible. That's the idea. Let's take the elbows up and release the shoulder blades down. So don't bring the shoulders up, bring the blades down as the elbows come up. Inhale, and on your exhale, push your right elbow into your left elbow, draw the shoulder blades forward, protracting the shoulder blades, right? Moving them on the rib cage. Inhale the arms or the shoulders back to neutral, and on the exhale, pinch the blades together. More spinal mobility, getting rid of some of the roundedness. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, and on the exhale, right hand turn with the arms. Keep them up on the horizon line. Feel the stretch of that posterior deltoid and rotator cuff, mobilizing the joint. Continue, look over the right shoulder now. Find a rotation in the cervical spine. And then inhale the whole thing back to center, and on the exhale, left hand turn with the arms. Keep the L or the triceps parallel to the floor if possible. Take it around, feel the stretch, and then turn the gaze, look over the left shoulder. Mobilize rotation through cervical spine. We're going to hit all the spots today in our spines. Inhale. And on the exhale, drop the elbows down so the blades don't round yet, or the back doesn't. The blades slide up. We stretch the bottom, lower traps there, and rhomboids, and then allow the spine to start to round, bringing the left elbow into the bottom of the rib cage, the crown of the head to the floor. Inhale it all back up again. Pull the low ribs in and then initiate from the elbows again coming up. The blades will start to slide down the rib cage. And this is the best part of the whole thing. Imaginary hand behind the heart. Push the heart towards the sky. The elbows will start to rise. And maybe let the head release back again, no dizziness. And find that end of your range. Inhale back to center. And on the exhale, release the arms down. So beautiful. Let's do the other side. Left on top, right on bottom. Find your position, customize it so it's accessible for you. Inhale. On the exhale, push the left elbow into the right. Draw the blades forward, protraction. Inhale them back to center. On the exhale, pull the blades back behind you. Inhale back to center, and on the exhale, right hand turn with the arms first. Feel that movement in the ball and socket, and then turn the gaze so you feel the vertebrae rotate. Inhale back to center, exhale, left hand turn. And look over the left shoulder. Inhale it back to center. On the exhale, drop the elbows towards lower ribs. Feel that movement of your shoulder blades. Nice. Start to round the spine. Maybe let the head release. Feel the traction action on the spine. Inhale back up. Exhale, low ribs engage. Take the elbows up first. Bring your awareness behind the heart. Push the elbow points to the sky, start to back bend. Maybe let the head release back. And inhale it all back to center. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Keep your eyes closed for just a moment. Feel what we've done to our bodies already and our minds and the magic of our practice. We'll do our forward fold. Take your hands back up, L shapes. Thumbs go on tops of the thighs. Press them down for your stable platform. Inhale, and on your exhale, start to rock the pelvis forward. Feel your skeleton moving. The thighs are stable, but the pelvis rolls. Ribs engage in low ribs. Descend down nice and easy. Chin stays tucked. When you feel like you'll fall forward, take the elbows to the side. Inhale. Exhale, rooted arms, like down doggy arms. Take them down. Find all those components in the hand and wrist for stability. Roll the elbow creases to the sky. Release the elbows to the earth. Feel that movement in your hips and your pelvis. Press the hands and elbows into the ground. Draw the crown of the head towards the front of the mat, so long our spine is.
That beautiful decompression. Maybe walk the hands forward another inch or so and then bow into it. Crown of the head releasing. Feel the traction all the way down to your lumbar spine maybe. And let's go ahead and walk our hands back up, nice and tall. Take the right leg over the left leg. Still stay on your blanket if you're sitting on one. We'll do some twisting. So the rotary components to the spine, low back, lumbar spine, 5 vertebrae, they don't rotate. So find the bottom of your rib cage either with your hands or in your mind's eye, and that's where we're going to rotate from. So keep the low back out of it. Big toe knuckle, the right foot holds the floor. Take your fist to the mat or the blanket, lift the pelvis, shake it out and put it down nice and light. Hands on the knee, big open heart. We don't rotate if you're flexed, so be sure you've got some openness to the heart. Inhale the arms up. On the exhale, keep the gaze forward, turn the rib cage. 12 ribs each side, so find the movement through the left side of the cage, the right side of the cage. When your chest is rotated, then turn the head. We've done a bunch of rotations in our neck already. Can you see the little finger of your left hand behind you? Inhale it back to center. And on the exhale, right hand turn. Turn the ribs. The head's kind of the afterthought, the little ornament on top that will twist. Turn the rib cage first. And then look over the right, towards the right little finger. Inhale it back to center. That was all muscle power. Let's do the same and then we'll add the arms to help in the twist. Inhale. Exhale. Just did it. Make your twist to the left. Maybe it feels like the path is a little easier to follow, right? When you come all the way around, then release your arms. The right elbow inside of that right knee, the left hand behind you to prop you up a bit. And use the pull of the left hand and the push of the right elbow to spin and twist. Ribs up. Moving some blood through our pancreas and adrenals and kidneys. Inhale the arms back to center. On the exhale, right hand turn, make the twist using the muscles. When you have brought yourself all the way around, release the elbows. Right hand will pull you around, left elbow will push into the knee as we come around. Beautiful. Inhale back through center. We'll make this so graceful, right? Lean back onto your hands, onto your sacrum. Inhale. And on your exhale, presto changeo, switch your legs around. See if you can find the mobility and strength in your hips to do so. Press down onto the ground, shake out your pelvis, put it back down again. Hands on the knee, big open heart. So amazing to tend to our bodies, right guys? Arms come up. Inhale. On the exhale, make a right hand turn with the ribs. Spin it up like a top spinning. Let the head look over towards that right little finger. Inhale back through center of the whole thing. And on the exhale, left hand turn. Stable base, spinning top. Look over towards the little finger, left hand. Inhale back to center, exhale to the right. It's almost as if your body wants to do that again. Release those arms, use the push of left elbow, pull of right hand to encourage more twist, ribs up. Inhale back through center, exhale left. Release the arms, use those as your twist. Inhale back through center. Nice. Okay, let's come onto all fours. Move up our ankles and knees a bit after all that sitting. Take your right foot back behind you. Push your heel all the way back to the back of the room. Express open the back of the right leg. Push the back of the right knee to the sky, the crown towards the front of the mat. Pause here for a moment. Inhale the body weight forward onto the tips of the toes, round over onto the top of the foot, plantar flexion. See if you can release the ankle itself and the tarsal bones in your feet as we go back. Go ahead and roll back through the toes, Articulate all the bones in the foot. Nice. Draw righty forward, take lefty back. Curl the toes under, heel to the back, crown to the front, back of the knee towards the sky. Inhale the body weight forward onto the tips of the left toes, over onto the top of the foot. Again, see if you can feel all those bones moving and mobilizing. That internal body double of ours, the skeleton, right? Go ahead and push back again, left foot all the way back. Draw the left one forward. Curl the toes under. Inside ankle bones and big toe knuckles touch. Let's go ahead and push back now. See if you can find the flexion in the knees and in your hips. Walk your hands back up now, seeing if you can sit your buttocks onto your heels. Remember, there's adjustments or modifications you can make, taking a blanket under your knees or putting a bolster underneath your buttocks so that you have a place to sit. Push your hands into your thighs. Pull the low ribs in and bring your heart nice and tall. See if you can forget about your feet. Just let it go. Take your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Knuckles or palms will touch. The thumbs will touch the medial arches of the feet as the shoulders spin back. Contain the low ribs, so don't pop the bellies forward. Keep the ribs in. Let's extend our shoulders and elbows. Inhale. On your exhale, take your hands back behind you. Pinch the pencil between the shoulder blades. Get rid of that roundedness. Maybe we can come down a little bit. The arms will come up as the nose starts to go towards the earth. Inhale back up again. See if you can have your middle fingers touch the ground now as the crown goes towards the heavens. Inhale your arms up. Turn the palms towards the sky. Push the palms skyward, elbows by ears, low ribs in, back bend your upper back. See if you can just give in to the weight of the pelvis on the heels and stretch the soleus muscles in your calves. Release your arms back to your side. Provided there isn't a dog in your way, come forward onto your mat and release your feet now into flipper feet or our Virasana sit position. This is challenging for lots of folks, tightness across the fronts of their ankles. So take a blanket and slide a blanket in there. If it's kind of pinching your knees, take something behind or maybe even sit on a block. So customize again for your needs. Right hand on the right knee, lift the shin, clear it. Left hand on the left knee, lift the shin and clear it. Take your hands back behind you, thumbs on the little toes or the sides of your feet. Pull the elbows in to expose the heart, modified camel, lean back. Inhale. On your exhale, lift your buttocks up off your heels and push the pelvis forward. So this is an opening of our hips, right? It's extension of our hips. It's not going into a big back bend, but more pelvic movement. Inhale. On the exhale, release the pelvis back down. The sit bones go outside the heels and launch the child forward using your abdominals and your back extensors, and slowly release the whole system towards the earth. The decelerating child. Forehead will touch something, hopefully. Inhale, pull yourself back up again. Exhale, shoulders round over the hips, the hands come back behind us. You'll bend your right elbow and look over your right shoulder. Try to keep the knees together. Inhale back through center. Exhale, bend the left elbow, look over the left shoulder. Inhale back through center. Launch your child forward so slowly, like a slow motion. Release to the earth, strengthening our back muscles, lubricating the spine. Forehead will touch. Inhale back up again. Shoulders release. Over hips. Beautiful. Come on to all fours. Take your knees as wide as your hips. Curl the toes under. Inhale. On the exhale, push back. Spread the sit bones, arch the back. We're not going all the way back to child pose, but kind of halfway back. If you notice, it's your down dog back here. Let's inhale the body weight forward, release the toes. Bring the shoulders over the wrists. Find stability in your shoulders here as you release the pelvis. The heart shines through. So many people end up coming in something like this with a rounded upper back. Please try to erase that and come into it with an open heart, literally and figuratively. And if it's too pinchy in your low back, maybe slide a block underneath the pubic bone. Let's go back and forth with this several times. Inhale, curl the toes under. On the exhale, push back. It's not wide child. Pushing back, sit bones to the back of the room. Arched back, beautiful. Flexion in your hips. Inhale the body weight forward, release the feet. On the exhale, find the strength in your shoulders to release your cobra to the earth. Let's wind and unwind the spine, right? A few times, back and forth. Toes curl under, you push back. Flexing the hips, anteriorly tilting the pelvis, arching the low back. And reversing, posteriorly tilting, extending the hips and bringing a whole awareness through the heart. Let's go ahead and look up this time to complete the extension in the spine. Inhale it back again. This time take the knees really wide and push back wide child. So adding another component now, coming a little bit farther back, requiring hip flexion. Release the elbows to the earth, the forehead to the earth, and a really great way to lubricate your hips, provided they're not pinchy here. Shift your pelvis right and left, and you'll lubricate those ball and socket and bring it back to neutral. Let's inhale forward through scared cat. On the exhale, release that cobra again to the earth. We just did it. Let's add some arms and a little deeper stretch here. Inhale. On the exhale, bend the elbows, chaturanga style, back towards your hips. The heart stays wide open. See if you can place your pelvis on the earth. We find this broadness through our upper backs. You got it, guys. Beautiful. Inhale it back up through the scared cat. On the exhale, big toes touch, knees go wide. Slowly we push back through that well lubricated pelvis and hips, elbows down to the ground. Shift the pelvis right and shift the pelvis left. Good, bring it back to neutral now and crawl your hands out a little bit farther if possible. The anchor of your pelvis allows the side body to stretch. And let's walk it out now. Lift your head enough so you can see your hands and start walking your hands to the right. So both hands will walk to the right. There's a little bit of space between the thumbs. Take it all the way around so that your right side of your rib cage is on your right thigh now. And then continue walking the left hand around. Feel that beautiful opening and see if you can get your left hand over your right to interdigitate the fingers. And then release the forehead towards the ground. Feel that beautiful opening. Pause here for a breath. Let's rotate now. Inhale. On your exhale, look into your left armpit and rotate from the ribs up. So your sacrum is going to stay in place. We're going to rotate ribs up and find that beautiful release, left side body and right side body. Release the heart back down towards the earth, and then walk your hands forward again. The cat will claw the carpet, reach out a little bit more. The head stays up just enough to watch the hands walk to the left. Watch your hands as they walk around. Continue walking the right one towards the left to open up even more of that right side body. Interdigitate the fingers. And then let the forehead release to the ground. Inhale. On the exhale, roll the rib cage up. On the right, look into the right armpit. See if you can find that mobility, regain some of the mobility we've lost. Release your heart back down towards the earth and walk your hands back forward. Let's pause here for a moment. Turn your palms up for the hopeful pose. Hope for something amazing to drop into your hands, into your lives. Humble yourself, bowing to the earth. Turn the palms back down, slide them back underneath your shoulders. And come on, press yourself up. Beautiful. Okay, let's go onto our backs now. Make your way onto your back however you'd like to get there. We'll move right into crazy legs, a wonderful way to lube our hips and shoulders and get our spines going. Most of you know this one. Knees together, feet apart, arms out in a T. Let's take it nice and easy. Inhale. On the exhale, right knee is going to slide down the inside of the left shin. Remember, guys, this is not just about letting the legs flop open, but we want to keep the contact so we're strengthening the muscles as well as not letting the joints just become too movable. If they're already hypermobile, sacroiliac joints have problems with this. Let's come on back up on the inhale and on the exhale, let them slowly move to the other side, right? Like windshield wipers on mist, nice and easy, just carving out the path. Please keep the legs moving through the whole thing and then add the arms to it. Thumbs go into the elbow creases, arms are above the chin. As the legs go left, the arms go right. Gather it up on the inhale to the center, and on the exhale, reverse the opposite. Arms left, legs right. We're rotating through our rib cage up. Feel all that movement happening, right? Add the head to it now. So the head will follow the knees at the cervical spine. Inhale up and exhale. Head follows knees, elbows go in the opposite way, twisting through our thoracics. Continue that movement many more times. You can add the eyeballs following the elbows as the head follows the knees. It all gathers on the center on the inhale back up, and then let it release. Head and knees one way, eyeballs and elbows the opposite. Take a moment or two here. Wind yourself up and unwind it. Feel how nourishing this is for our spines and our joints. Finding the freedom of movement in all the pieces, right? Beautiful. Good, let's bring it back up to center. Let's do some bridging so we build some core strength and awareness. So this is a time where we want to keep the low back, lumbosacral spine stable because it's too movable. And we want to mobilize the thoracic spine because it's usually too stuck. Here we go. Arms at your side, middle fingers touch your heels. If your arms are especially short, they won't touch. The idea is, though, that your heels are closer towards your buttocks than not. Turn your palms up. Turn the hips in slightly, so not just turning the toes in, but the entire hip complex turns in just slightly. Lift your toes off the floor and then put them back down again. We don't want to grip the ground with our toes. Inhale. On the exhale, push the soles of the feet into the earth. Feel your back fires up. Pull the imaginary egg or the elevator up into the pelvic bowl, and then tap down your stomach towards the ground without flattening your back. And then at that point, we lift our hips. See if you can lift from the opening of the fronts of the hips, not pushing through your low back. So probably more tightness in front of hips than not having enough movement in your low back. Maybe take your hands on the tops of your hips today and push your hips into your hands. Lift up, yeah. Squeeze your glutes together, maybe 20% of your power, so not overpowering it. And then from there, take your hands underneath your back and interlace your fingers. Do your shimmy shoulders. Your right blade will come under. Your left blade will come under. Have the sides of the forearms touching the ground if possible. Squeeze an imaginary grip between the knees and push the knees to the front of the mat. Beautiful. Look down at your heart because that's what we want to open. Bend the elbows, fingertips to the sky. Inhale. And on the exhale, as you push your elbows down, look at your heart come at your face. So the doming now is through that upper thoracic spine, getting rid of the roundedness. Keep awareness of low ribs pushed in and the pelvis pushing to the sky. Maybe straighten out your arms. Now touch the sky with your fingertips. Push your blades down into the earth. So stable. Take the arms overhead, reach back. Maybe the backs of the hands or the thumbs will touch the earth. Lay out your bridge. Go back through your own checklist here. Find your stability. Inhale the arms straight back up. Exhale, put the elbows down and then the hands down. And really slowly start to release your spine to the earth. Control it. When you get to the bottom of your rib cage, keep the low back arch and imprint your sacrum. I think that feels so good. And then take the soles of the feet together, let the knees out to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana. Let your legs rock side to side, your pinwheel legs. You can take your hands to the inner groin muscles, do maybe a little bit of a pinch of the groin muscles to give them the idea to release. Take your hands to the outsides of your legs, move them together with your arms, take your feet apart. Back into bridge again, set up for success, find all your pieces. Inhale, exhale, push the feet down, pull the egg up, tack down the belly, lift your hips off the ground. Open from the front of the pelvis, so take the hands onto the top of the pelvis and push it up. Squeeze just 20% of power of your glutes, don't overdo it. Take your hands underneath your back, interlace your fingers, do your shimmy shoulders. Elbows to the side, fingers to the sky. Inhale, exhale. Push the elbows down, look at your heart. Erase some of that roundedness in the upper back. Don't push too hard into the back of your head. Take your fingertips up to the sky. And then back behind you, lay out your bridge. Find some peace in the pose here. So activate the muscles we need to help to hold the position. And yet you can still breathe and enjoy the ride. Inhale the hands back up to the sky. Elbows go down. Hands go down. Slowly, spine releases to the earth. Skip the low back. Imprint the sacrum. Soles of the feet together. And rock it side to side. Bring it back to neutral. Hands to the outsides of your legs. Move them together. We'll go back into bridge and we'll do single leg bridges. Much more difficult to maintain the level of the pelvis. If it feels like it's too much, just keep both legs on the ground. Go back into it same way we started. See if you can remember some of the cues. I'll meet you in bridge pose. Pelvis pushes to the sky. Wiggle your right foot a little bit closer to the center of the mat and push it into the ground. Take your hands and put them on the top of your pelvis. See how the pelvis stays stable. And simply inhale. And on the exhale, straighten your left leg. Have it parallel to the right leg. Keep the left hip point up. It's probably sagging. You'll need to squeeze that left butt cheek to hold it in place. Let's shift back and forth. Put the left foot down, center of the mat on the inhale. On the exhale, engage the left glute and the right glute as you straighten your right leg. So back and forth several times, trying not to let the pelvis dip side to side as you switch the feet back and forth. Few more each side, and again, if it feels like it's too much for you, do your double leg bridge. Beautiful. Come on back, take the feet apart, push the pelvis to the sky. Release down real slowly. Skip the low back, imprint the sacrum. Let's roll onto our right side for open book and chalk trace. Right onto your right side you go, hip, knees, and ankles 90 degrees. If you need a prop for your head, a blanket or something, put it underneath so that your head is nice and comfy. Hands, palms touching, have your hips, knees, and ankles 90 degrees. Inhale. On the exhale, trace your left hand up that right forearm. Caresses over the bicep onto the chest, and the left elbow goes to the sky. Pause there. Lift your elbow up, run your whole upper back. Try to keep your knees and ankles glued together and rotate through the rib cage. We've heard that many times. Trying to find the movement through the rib cage. Low back stays out of it. Maybe take the left hand into the small of the back and see that it's perpendicular. And then return your hand back to your heart. Remember, we can roll that rib cage over a bit by using the right arm. So bend the right elbow, fingertips to the sky. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the right elbow into the earth, but lift your heart towards the heavens and find a little rotation if possible. Do it again. Inhale. Exhale, push the right elbow down, lift the heart and rotate. Maybe you can let the left arm unfurl to the earth and the right arm down. Look towards your left fingertips. Oh my goodness, such a wonderful opening through our thoracics. Keeping low back and sacroiliac joints out of it. Inhale your left hand up to the sky, grab the cloud off the sky, imprint it onto your right palm, and then slide the left hand through a bit more so your heart releases towards the ground. Let's do the same exact thing now. Big inhale. And on the exhale, make the breath last the whole way through. If possible, hand traces up the forearm, bicep, chest, elbow lifts. We round the bend. Second round, maybe a little more accessible. Beautiful. Release the left arm out, right arm out. Then hang out for a moment here. Inhale your arm back up to the sky, grab the cloud off the sky. Exhale, imprint it and roll it forward. Inhale it so that you're palm to palm again, and on the exhale, let's chalk trace. Measuring piece of chalk between the thumb and index of the left hand. It's going to start to come up over your head. Watch it. You'll roll on the crown of the head, and maybe you'll continue all the way around in a 180-degree arc. If you can keep your hand in contact with the floor the whole time, then do that. If you can't, then stop where your hand leaves the ground, and we end up in the same position we were just in at the end of open book. Let's trace it back around again. Inhale, and on your exhale, take it up overhead. Traces up overhead and around. We come back to our start position. Right into one more round. Inhale, exhale, big sweeping arc. Make that concentric circle as broad and wide as possible. Come around, pausing at 180. Inhale again, and on your exhale, come up over your head to start position. So let's move to the other side by using our core. See if you can follow this. Inhale. And on your exhale, start off the same thing we just did. Take your hand, trace it up the forearm, over the biceps on the chest, elbows up. Inhale again. On the exhale, pull up your egg, pull your belly back towards your spine. Use the right elbow a little bit and see if you can roll yourself over onto your left side really slowly. It's all core, a lot of our oblique muscles. Beautiful. So each here on the left side. Hips, knees, and ankles 90 degrees, palm to palm. Inhale. On your exhale, trace your right hand up your left forearm, over your bicep, onto your chest, right elbow lifts. Inhale again. On your exhale, roll over from the rib cage. Keep the knees and ankles glued together as best as you can. And bring the right elbow towards a prop or the triceps towards the prop or to the floor. To get a little more rotation, we bend our left elbow, inhale. On the exhale, push the left elbow down, but lift the heart at the same time and rotate that rib cage. Try it one more time. Inhale. Exhale, push the left elbow down, lift the heart and rotate. And maybe unfurl the arms at that point. Turn the gaze towards the middle finger of that right hand. Inhale, the hand back up, grab the cloud off the sky, imprint it onto your left palm. Slide the right hand through, protract the shoulder blade, and one sweeping, beautiful motion. See if you can open this book. Inhale. Exhale, draw the hand through. Come to rest in your expression of the pose. 1 or 2 breaths. Trying to bring awareness to the spots that might need to be a little bit more lubricated or softened. Inhale the hand back up, grab the cloud off the sky, imprint it onto the palm, slide it through. Right into chalk trace we go. Inhale the hand back up onto the palm on the exhale. Right hand holds the imaginary chalk between thumb and index. Take it up overhead. Watch your hand as it goes around. If you can't keep your hand in contact with the ground the whole time, I suggest you stop. Come to your open position. Pause. Inhale, and on your exhale, close her down again. Reach up. Find that circumduction of your shoulders. Come on through. One more time. Inhale, exhale, take it up overhead. Come around. Find the opening. And back around. Start position. Let's find ourselves back on the other side for just a moment using our abdominals, our core. Inhale, slide the hand, inhale. On the exhale, slide the hand up, hand onto the heart. Pull the belly in, pull that elevator egg up, bring the legs up, and see if you can roll over onto the other side. Do that a few times, back and forth. Arm initiates, then legs come up, and the arms join. It's a wonderful way to pull your core in. So as little momentum as possible, as little pushing with the elbows as possible, but do what you need to find yourself rolling. A few more back and forth. As quietly as possible. Nothing hits the ground with too much force. Over onto the right side for the last time. And then let's bring it on back to center. Okay. Open the fronts of our hips and come into some back extension with our psoas block sequence. Grab your blocks, have it ready for you. Back into bridge position. Inhale, exhale, push down, lift your hips up. Take that block, it's at its lowest level in a horizontal, slide it underneath your sacrum. The triangle bone between the pelvis, so it's not on your low back and it's not fully on your butt cheeks. See if you can feel with your hand here how your low back is actually hanging over the top of the block. It's extension. We're looking for that in our lumbar spines. Keep readjusting the block as need be. Slide your right leg down the mat. It's Tadasana. So for a moment or two, we can release and unbridle the hip. Let it release. It'll roll to the outside. External rotation. It's the position that your hip goes in when we're not using muscle control. Keep the right leg out exactly where it is and take lefty out. Do the same thing. Have it active first. Heel pushing down, toes come to the face, softening the hip. Let it release and it should feel hopefully like your hips are doing approximately the same thing. Take your hands down, find your belly button, and then move your fingers. So you got your 4 fingertips, all your fingers besides your thumb, about 2 inches outside your belly button. That's where your psoas muscle is. Go ahead and dig in. See if you can move some of the belly out of the way and go deep into the muscles. Might feel a little nauseating, maybe a little bit tingly, and walk your fingers up like stripes 2 inches away from the belly button until you get to the bottom of your rib cage. At the bottom of the rib cage there, what's there? The diaphragm, also part of our core. It's a lumbar stabilizer. Dig the fingers in underneath the rib cage. See if you can free up some of that fascia, some of the diaphragmatic segments. Walk the fingers out till you feel your bikini bones, and then walk them back to the center, 2 inches outside your belly button, and then down into the pelvic bowl. So you'll come down over the pubic bone, down through onto the tops of your thighs, the inside of the top of the thigh where your psoas and iliacus attach. Walk them back up again to find those bikini bones, dig your fingers inside, pull the bikini bones apart, and maybe you can feel the sacroiliac joints will gather as the bikini bones come apart. Take your arms now slowly, one at a time, up over your head. Lay out that beautiful body. Readjusting the blocks. Maybe you want to take your block up a little higher, probably not. Maybe you need a lower block on a blanket, maybe just on the ground. Something that'll give you a little bit of this passive back bend. Take the right hand to the left wrist and lengthen out the left side body. Take the left to the right and lengthen out the right side body. Come to rest for just a breath or two here in this amazingly open rib caged position, taking as much air as you can. Hold the breath for a second on the end of the inhale, and then let the lungs recoil on the exhale, and use your abdominals to push out the rest of the sludge. One more time, inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale. Bring your arms back down to your sides one at a time. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. Readjust the block as necessary. Take your hands around the top of your right knee and draw it to your chest. Okay, you know I'm all about the nuance here. Let's check in with our sacrums. So with no awareness of your sacrum as you draw your right knee up to your chest, can you feel how your back is rounding, right? It's coming into a flexed position as you come over the block. With your knee kept at your chest like that, push your sacrum back down onto the block so your knee will be less flexed, but your low back now maintains its curve. Let's do that one more time with your left hand in the small of your back. Draw the knee up to the chest and feel how the hand comes closer to your back. It's flexing. And as you push your sacrum down, it's arching. So come to a place where you still have an arch in your back, but maybe a little bit less flexion in your hip. Beautiful. Circle your ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. Bring the ankle to rest and spread the toes. Find the intrinsics of your feet. Release the toes and take the hands behind the knee. Draw the knee up towards the chest, again with awareness of keeping your sacrum somewhat imprinted onto that block. Let's release the hamstrings. This is a wonderful way to get the sense of, I'm not going to move my pelvis, I'm just going to move my leg. Inhale. And on the exhale, don't change the pelvis so much, just straighten out your right leg. So if you can't straighten out your right leg, you might need to release the hip down to about 90 degrees as you pull your toes to your face. Feel all that beautiful stretch on the back of that right leg. Draw it back in on the inhale. Keep the sacrum pressed. And on the exhale, free it up again. Straighten out the knee, pull the toes to the face, support the back of the right leg with your hands. We'll do it one more time. Draw it back in again, flex the hip. Keep the sacrum imprinted. Don't squish the low back. Exhale, release, toes to face. Heel goes out the roof. Draw it back in again. Thigh onto belly, chest. Take the right leg now and slide it to the right a little bit so that the thigh is not squishing onto the belly, chest there. And take the sole of the right foot and stand it up on the sky. So you got 90 degrees at your knee and a lot more than 90 degrees here at your hip. If you can grab the outside of your right foot without changing too much, do that. If it looks like it's too far away, just have your hand stay behind your thigh on your hamstrings or throw a strap over the bottom of the right foot. So get the right leg into 90-90 if possible, ankle and knee. And then the big stretch happens when we straighten our left leg out. Ideal world, left heel's on the ground. If it's not on the ground, it needs to be on a prop. Don't let it be hovering. You're just strengthening the muscle. Keep the heel down. Sole of the right foot to the sky while the sole of the left foot is in Tadasana. If the left knee is somewhat bent, your quad's a little tight. And if your hip is not able to extend the whole way, then your hip flexors are tight. Or maybe a combination of both. Take your left arm up over your head. Reach that left hand back. How long is that left side body? That whole front body, hip flexors into your abdominals. Bring the left hand back down. Put the left foot onto the floor. Beautiful. Put the right foot onto the floor. We best do the other side. Take your hands front of the left knee, draw it up towards the chest. Remember, keep the sacrum imprinted. You might even mobilize your whole hip by doing that. The knee can keep coming to the chest as long as the sacrum stays imprinted. Circle the ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. Foot comes to rest, spread the toes, find the intrinsics of that left foot. Let that release. Take your hands behind your knee, draw it up towards the chest on the inhale. And on the exhale, the sacrum stays imprinted. As you straighten out the left leg, the hands will come down lower onto the thighs so you can find the straight knee, toes pulling towards the face. Whew. Big posterior stretch. Let's do a few of those. Inhale the leg back in, thigh onto belly, chest. On the exhale, knee straightens, toes pull to face. See where your hip needs to be to find that straight knee. One more time, draw it in. And let it out. Draw it in again. On the exhale, glide it to the left, a lateral glide so that the thigh doesn't pinch onto the rib cage or your belly. Take the sole of your left foot to the sky. If you can grab the outside of the left foot with your hand without changing the pose too much, do that. Otherwise, like I said, hold the back of the thigh with a strap on the bottom of the left foot. See what this side feels like now compared to the other. Straighten out the right leg. Remember, the heel needs to stay on the earth. If not, get another blanket or block and slide it down there. Try to keep the sole of the left foot up as the right heel slides down. Hip flexors, releasing, top of your quad releasing. Your pelvis moving in two different ways, right? The right side of the pelvis posterior, the left side anterior. That's what happens when you walk. Take your arm up over your head, reach to the back of the room. Right hand will come back again to your side. Bend the right knee for safety. Put the left foot down. Readjust the block. We're going to take both legs up now. Bring the knees up towards the chest. Keep the sacrum somewhat imprinted. Do it again. If you bring your knees all the way up to your chest, feel how the back rounds. Not so great for folks that have disc problems. So in this position, push your sacrum back down. Let's add our back decompression before we straighten out our legs. Inhale. On the exhale, push the sacrum into the block. Push the knees towards the sky, but pull the hands down to the knees. And maybe you can feel what I can feel here, just a beautiful decompression through the whole lumbosacral spine, especially with that block in place. Release that on the inhale. We'll do one more. On the exhale, push the sacrum into the block, push the knees to the sky, but resist that by pulling the hands down, and you'll have a decompression action in your back. So beautiful. Nice. Put your knees together now. Take your hands to the bottom of the block for your bridge chest. So maybe interlace the fingers or just have the hands in the bottom of the block. Keep the sacrum pushed down to the block and the back of the skull lightly pressed into the earth. Straighten out the legs. Now find the length to your hamstring. Pull the toes to your face. Find the length to your calf muscles, your gastrocs. Ideally, legs are straight up, candlestick legs. Let's open the gates now. Inhale. And on the exhale, push your heels up to the sky and then out to the opposite corners of the room. So the heavier your legs, you've got to control this. Use your core, your strength of your abductors and adductors. Open the gates, push the heels, opposite corners of the room. That's beautiful. Inhale the legs back up again with your core strength. And on the exhale, they slowly open again. This time, turn the toes to outside corners of the room, externally rotate. Inhale them back up again. And on the exhale, Baddha Konasana, legs, soles of the feet push together as the heels drop into the groin. Inhale, and on the exhale, push the soles of the feet together, rise up. Pull the toes towards the face. One more. Inhale, exhale, soles of the feet lower to the groin. Keep the push. Inhale, exhale, push them back up. Redwood tree out of the forest, toes to the face, heels out the roof. Bend your right knee, put your foot on the earth. Bend your left knee, put your foot on the earth. Press into the bottoms of your feet to bridge up. Slide the block out from underneath your back. And then very slowly start to release the pelvis towards the earth. Remember, skip the low back. Imprint the pelvis. So beautiful. Soles of your feet together. Let them drop out to the side. And side to side now, pinwheel legs. Finding that freedom. Bring the legs back to neutral. Take the hands to the outsides of the legs. Put your legs back together. Mechanical assist. Let's take the right leg over the left leg. Eagle legs cross. If you can get your foot behind your calf, beautiful. If not, just keep it on the outside. Straighten out the legs. Well, you won't straighten them, but attempt to straighten your legs. Your heels on the ground, but the toes are up. Let's use the right leg to stretch the left side body. Inhale. On the exhale, the right leg will draw the legs over towards that right side. Bring the awareness to this muscle here on the left side of the body, quadratus lumborum, bottom of the rib cage, top of the pelvis, into the tensor fasciae lata muscle of that left thigh, and down the whole lateral side of the thigh. Pause for a moment. And inhale the legs back up to center. On the exhale, left hand's going to go on the outside of the right thigh. Roll yourself over as you exhale. Use a blanket again underneath your head or a block if you need it. Look down at your right knee. It should stay on the floor. We're going to add our open book. We've just done it. So when the legs are crossed like this, chances of you torquing your back are so much less. Right hand on your heart, right elbow to the sky. Inhale. On your exhale, start to roll it over really easy. So all the components we worked on now, we're combining them. See if you can find that rotation through the rib cage. Do the left elbow press into the earth to lift the heart and rotate again. Opening all those pieces. And you come to rest now in whatever feels best for you in your safety zone. I want you to do 3 breaths. With every exhalation, trying to deepen the pose, maybe where you're holding out of fear or out of discomfort or just out of stiffness. Finding your way in. Inhale the right hand up, grab a cloud off the sky, imprint it onto your left palm. Roll back onto your back with the grace and ease of the arm coming up. Uncross your legs and cross them up opposite now. Left is on top. Perhaps the foot goes behind the calf, maybe not. Heels on the ground, toes are up, legs are as long as possible. Let's use the left leg to stretch the right side body. Inhale. On the exhale, lefty. We'll move the legs towards the left side. So the waistline start to open down into the lateral thigh. Pause for a moment there. Inhale the legs back to center on the exhale. Right hand on the outside of that left leg. Roll yourself over onto your right side. Left knee is on the ground. Your head can rest on something if need be. Keep the left knee on the ground. This side, take the left hand into the small of your back. Keep it in the perpendicular, right? Left hand onto the heart. Elbow comes to the heavens. Inhale. On the exhale, roll it over. Rib cage does all the work. Ribs attaching into your spine. So when the ribs start to twist, the spine starts to rotate. Maybe add the right elbow into it, right? Push the elbow into the ground, lift the heart, and rotate. Push the elbow into the ground, lift the heart, and rotate. Unfurl the flag as need be or can be. Try not to let the left knee come up, but the knee stays down, and we find the movement through rib cage instead. I'd love for you to do 3 long breaths here. Inhale the left hand up to the sky. Grab the cloud, imprint it onto the palm. Roll yourself onto your back again. The left arm will trace up. Legs will roll back. Straighten out your legs, long down the mat. Take your arms up over your head, reach to the very top of the mat. Find that expansiveness in your bodies, those big open rib cages. Do the lockstep lung drill. The bigger the rib cage, the more the lungs can fill up in a lockstep fashion. So in this huge rib cage position, inhale and fill those lungs up, inflate the balloons. Feel them as they touch the outer reaches of the rib cage. Hold the breath for a second on that end of the inhale, and on the exhale, let the lungs recoil. And at the end, use your abdominals. Push out the rest of the sludge. Do 2 more just like that. Inhale. Feel the lungs as they fill up into that full capacity. Hold the breath for a second, and then let it recoil. Last one on your own. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your arms back to your sides. Grab your mat with your fists. Inhale on your exhale. Push your hands down towards your feet. Your body will slide up the mat an inch or 2. Set you right into your shavasana. Bring your shoulder blades underneath you. Close your eyes or cover your eyes if it's handy and available. Take a moment here. What's up with your mind now? The mind racing still? Is it quieted? Is it focused on the breath? So all the things that are so prominent in our minds throughout the day will most likely still be there when we're done, but not to such an intensity. It lessens the priorities of all of it. Our breath, our most potent stimuli in our practice. Touch the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth behind your teeth. It's a still calming point. And trace the tip of the tongue on the roof of your mouth and
It's your ticket into relaxation. Let the tongue to release to the bottom of the mouth. Now the lips will part slightly. A soft, vacuous mouth, no tongue and no teeth, no gripping, no grinding. That soft message is translated throughout the rest of the system. This body, this mind is in relaxation and calmness. We can shut down that excitatory part of our nervous system with our breath and our awareness. Let's do our tongue bath today. The tongue bath is nothing more than letting the saliva build in your mouth as you drift into your shavasana, your lucid sleep. When the saliva builds in the mouth, the brain gets the signal that we are in relaxation. We only salivate to this degree when we're ready to eat or when we're moving into relaxation. So find the saliva building up in your mouth. Give your tongue the tongue bath. I'm going to give you a few minutes here to drift off. Take yourself off to one of your very favorite places. Feel the earth under you or the water under you, wherever you are. The olfactory components of it, maybe the smell of the green grass or that smell of the sun that's warmed your skin, maybe the salt water. Let yourself drift off here for a few minutes and find that calmness, that lucid sleep. In a moment, I'll ask you to swallow and know that this potency of this tongue bath continues on for hours after. As you swallow and that calming saliva makes its way down through your whole GI tract. It softens everything, gets rid of all the agita, all of the belly upset, any sort of disturbance in your GI system. So go ahead and swallow now and feel it as it coats down, making its way down into your stomach, down into your GI tract, calming us and feeling that calmness through the system. Find the marble in the back of your skull, let your head rock very slowly side to side. Starts to wake the system nice and easy. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring our physical bodies back to the room. When you're ready, bend your knees. Slide your heels towards your buttocks. Glue your knees and ankles together. And roll onto your right side. Transition position, right? That wonderful transition from our practice into our relaxation, into our calmness. This position offering inspiring thoughts of generosity, of kindness, of altruism, and of seva, our selfless service, finding that empathy and that compassion for each other, lulling us into this calmness and equilibriumness, even balance. Loka samasta, sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Before you sit up, I'd like you to all conjure up the face of a loved one, a friend, maybe somebody who's had a tough week, somebody that you care for, that you cherish, that you only want the best for. Guide them as you inhale, and on your exhale, come on up. Bring them with you. Keep them in your heart. Fingers to the earth, we ground ourselves. Eyes closed, feeling the energetics moving through your system. Draw the energy up from the earth to your heart center, thumbs on the heart. The heart will rise. We pause here, reminding ourselves to be so grateful for all that we have. Inhale, and on your exhale, let your hands float forward. Fingertips touch, fingernails touch, hands open like a lotus. Draw the sweetness back into your heart centers. Take the thumbs up to your third eye, still contemplation. Point all seeing eye, ESP-I. It's our clarity spot. Let's bow to each other. Namaste. Thank you, beautiful yogis. Oh my goodness. Such a clearinghouse for us, huh? Practicing apart, but keeping our community, our love, our hearts together through these bizarre times, feeling this connection always through our yoga practice. I'm so grateful for each one of you for joining me. Let's keep these home fires burning for as long as we possibly can. I'm going to hang out and would love to say hi to a few of you and see you all next Sunday, or maybe join me for my Yoga Works, Yoga Tree sessions on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, 7:30 California time. Thanks, guys.
Okay.